inshallah. And maybe those of you who know each other, recall each other, remind each other before you go to bed, let's do that. Just clear the hearts, because Allah Azza wa Jal says, in the Quran, or in various parts, Allah will say, wa'fu wasfahu. Wa'fu, when you pardon, is when you pardon somebody, you don't retaliate, and you leave them. Okay? So somebody said some bad things about you, you pardon them. Now, but Allah Azza wa Jal says wasfahu, because safh is deeper than pardoning. Because you might pardon someone, but you still have issues in your heart. I'll give you a reenactment. It looks something like this. So let's pick on sisters. A sister is sitting down and laughing and having fun with some other sisters. Then a sister that offended her in the past walks in. All right? The sister did some things against her, and she forgave her. Wait for everyone to get settled. So the sister did something against her in the past, said some really bad things about her, they were untrue. The sister forgave her, right? Or the brother forgave the other person. So you're sitting with your friends, you're laughing, and then when you turn, you see that person enter the room. Immediately the smile disappeared, and your mood changed. Even though you forgave them, you never retaliated. So you did afu, good job. But you didn't do safh. And safh is when you really turn the other side, and it doesn't matter anymore. It doesn't matter anymore. And when you can do that, and there's even a higher level than that, is when you pardon, and then you turn the other side, you totally forget, you turn away from it, no hard feelings, no cold salams, because I forgave you, but I remember what you did to me. No, none of that. And then the highest level is then, Wallahu yuhibbul muhsinin, to do something good to that person. Now can you imagine now, someone offends you, and do this for fun next time. Someone does something bad against you. You forgive them, and then you're always nice to them. Still, kayf al-hal, and you smile and everything. And then you bring them some gift. Oh, they will be so ashamed that they ever said something about you or created problems for you or lied about you. They'll be, every time they see you, they'll feel ashamed. You might take another path, because I'm so ashamed of this guy. He's so nice to me, and look at the things that I did to them. And they know, and they forgave me. That's part of the... So we're saying then, akhlaq, very, very important. It's not just something that you add on afterwards. It's essential. It will destroy your good deeds if you have bad akhlaq. And if you have good akhlaq, it could cover up, because of its weight, it could cover up for some of the sins. And that it's the heaviest thing on your scale on the Day of Judgment. It's one of the things that most lead people to paradise. It's one of the bad akhlaq, one of the things that most lead people into the hellfire. So now comes an important question. Are you born with good akhlaq, or can you acquire good akhlaq? Who thinks you're born with good akhlaq? Put your hands up. Okay, that's great. Excellent. Because if you are just born with good akhlaq, then why would Allah punish you for a way He created you? So He created you with bad akhlaq, and you can't improve your akhlaq. Then why would He punish you for that? True? True. Right, that means, and of course the answer is actually, what is the answer?
You can acquire.
You can acquire it, and there's part of it that's inherited as well. Right? You've seen a guy with a calm father, and he's very calm also? No? Yeah, you've seen people like that. You've seen, someone who never ever loses his cool, then you visit him at home and his father never ever loses his cool. That's where he got that from. So they tell you part of it is like that, like kind of inherited, and the other part is you can acquire it. You can improve your akhlaq, and that's the good news. Now, we live in a society where this exaggerated sense of individuality. Exaggerate, I say, because sometimes you want to advise a Muslim brother and tell him or your sister, and you say, look, this issue, and you bring it in a nice way and everything, but then they just write it off as, what? This is who I am. So many times you try to give people advice about their akhlaq, and they tell you, well, I understand that, but that's who I am. What do you mean that's who you are? You don't want to improve at all? You're just doomed to be bad-mannered, يعني? You can't improve whatsoever? You want to put some effort? So that's who I am. Or this other thing where we believe in this weird duality where, like one person was telling me, we could be in a board meeting and I will say the rudest and harshest things to you, but then we'll go out after the meeting, and we're friends again, we'll go get kebab. Who tells you I want to eat kebab with you, ya akhi, if you have bad manners like this? I don't want to have kebab with you. I don't want to have biryani with you. So, who said that there are different ways to behave for a Muslim? That, if it's business, business is business. I'm cutthroat, I'm rude, I'm blunt to the point, crude and harsh. That's business. But then when we're at the restaurant, I'm very sweet and gentle. You know what? I'll tell you about this one guy that I knew. I used to be so embarrassed when I would meet this guy because he was so nice to me. He was only 2 years younger than me, and yet he respected me so much. We were just friends. That he would say, no, you don't get up, you're older than me. And he would run and get it and come back. And then he says, I need to leave now. I just ask your permission. Do you need anything from me before I leave? I say, Ya akhi, jazakallah khair, just go, it's okay. Such manners from this guy, Allahu Akbar. Excellent manners. La, you are the older one, let me do it. La, ya akhi, jazakallah khair. Barakallah fi. Do you need anything? Command me and I shall do it. Allah used to say that. Ta'murna. Yani, command me. Allah, till I traveled with that guy. Wallahi, I couldn't believe it. Wallahi, I couldn't believe it. That it was the same guy. I had to check somehow. Is this that guy? He was doing reckless driving. I mean, he would just slam on the brakes. Then he would slam on the gas. Then he was proficient in sign language, apparently. He was giving signs left and right. Outside the car, inside the car. And he was smashing the horn and hitting the brakes and hitting the gas. And I was just looking at him like, this is the same guy? Who was it? Command me and I shall do it. So, it can't be like that, that your akhlaq is just, here I can have good akhlaq, in business, in driving it's different. I know one brother, whenever he's driving, he takes off his kufi. He doesn't want to give a bad image to Islam. Because he knows people, So the minute he's in the car, takes it off. This is some other hymn. And then when he puts it on, this is about You see this a lot with basketball. And I would love that our good akhlaq become a part of who we are. Not part of who we are in the masjid. It's strange when I see brothers play basketball. And suddenly they start saying things and phrases and strutting and doing very strange things like that. The same group that was inside the masjid a few minutes ago. I don't want to reenact what they do, but really strange akhlaq. Anyways, by the way, is sports good for akhlaq or bad for akhlaq? No? Depends. What sport? Okay. Alright, but if everyone sees the akhlaq, sports that improve your akhlaq, please let me know, okay? Yeah, we're talking about that we want to improve our akhlaq. The good news is we can improve our akhlaq. And the ways we do it, for one, there's no me in the masjid and then me in business meetings, and there's one. Two, we want to be realistic with ourselves and we want to evaluate ourselves. And we also want to accept when someone gives us a piece of advice. And we want to act on it. I'll tell you another true story. We were, this guy, and I didn't really know him very well, so he's giving me a ride to my car, and he's telling me on the way, give me advice. I said, okay, well, I don't know the guy that well. I couldn't think of anything. So I said, okay, well, I can't think of anything, but inshallah, if I see anything wrong, he says, I love people to give me advice, and I like to improve myself. So if you see something wrong with me, give me some advice, so I can improve my akhlaq. I said, okay, inshallah, if I see something, I'll let you know. 1 minute later, he's like, did you think of anything? I said, no. But if I think of something, I promise I'll let you know. 2 minutes later, he said, tell me something. Tell me just anything. Just give me some advice. I said, I didn't want to tell him, I don't really know you that well, to give you some advice. But then I remembered something. This problem that he has, he interrupts people a lot. So I told him, actually I do remember something. I interrupt people a lot. He said, yes, I know that. Give me some new advice. What does this mean? You already know it and you don't work on it whatsoever and you want more homework. And just like the kid who's got a lot of homework and he goes to his other teacher, please give me some more homework. We'll finish what you have already. So this guy, he's got one issue. Many people have told him about it before, and his claim was he likes to improve himself. He likes people to give him advice. He got this advice before, a number of times that he interrupts, And he didn't work on it, and he wants more homework. So I told him, it's not acceptable. If you know this, work on it. Do something about it. And let me tell you this. When you want to change, change is easy. When you really want to change, it's easy. When you want to wake up for Fajr, it's easy. It's really difficult when you don't really want to. When you would love to be of the people of Fajr, but you don't really want to, it's hard to get up for Fajr. But when you have to get up early because you're going to some thrill park or you're traveling or catching a plane, you're up and your clothes are ready and everything. It's great. And you're up immediately. The minute the alarm clock rings, you turn it off immediately. You don't hit the snooze 17 times like when it's Fajr time. When you want to change, change is easy. I'll give you the example. And it's really a phenomenal example of the companion when he came to the Prophet ﷺ, the Bedouin Arab. He came to the Masjid of the Prophet ﷺ, and then he told the Prophet ﷺ, I'm a man from the Bedouins, and I have their crudeness. We're harsh, they're hard, the Bedouins. So give me some advice. So the Prophet ﷺ told him, فَلَا تَسُبَّنَّ أَحَدًا. 3 words. Do not curse anyone. That's it. That's it. 3 words, he said. Do not curse anyone. So then look what he does, and look what happens immediately. He says, فَمَا سَبَبْتُ أَحَدًا وَلَا شَاةً وَلَا بَعِيرًا. He said, then I never from that day cursed anyone, nor any sheep, nor a camel. Now the Prophet said, don't curse people or animals. Why did he add animals? And why did just 3 words change him for the rest of his life? You know why? Because he wanted to change. He wanted to change. And if you interrupt people, and if you really want to change, is it that difficult? It's really not that difficult. It's not like he's going to be holding his mouth and then his other hand is going to be trying to free his mouth so he can interrupt people. It's not that difficult. If you really want to change, it's not that difficult. If you want to improve your akhlaq, you work on it. So this man came, he wanted to improve his akhlaq. He said, I'm crude, I'm harsh. Prophet said, do not curse anyone. Look what happened to him. He didn't curse anyone ever again, but he also added to it sheep and camel. It's not like he's going to stop cursing people, but curse the living daylights out of his herd. And it's not that he said, okay, I'm going to curse, keep cursing today. Next week I'll decrease by 1 curse. The week after that I'll decrease by another curse. And then after that I'll keep decreasing. No. Nor did he stop cursing. Are we supposed to stop or something? Nor did he stop cursing for a few weeks and then come back to it. Like those people who quit smoking, to pick on the smokers. They stop, they're back to it. They stop, just don't stop there. You're making me sick with your stop and come back. And what is it? Just stop. I'll tell you, one of my professors, she said, this old lady, she said, I stopped smoking 1973, I'm changing the dates obviously, 1973, July 14th, 5:36 p.m. Like that. And she never had a cigarette again from that day. You know why? Because she wanted to change. She'd have to get the gum, the patch, I don't know what it is, where you put this and you put that in there to get the nicotine. And she'd have to do any of that. She said, I stopped this date, that time, and that's it. And never ever had a cigarette after that. Because she wanted to. The companion, the Prophet said 3 words, it was enough to change him for the rest of his life. He stopped immediately, and he didn't go back to it again, and he added the animals to the list as well. Never cursed again, because he wanted to change. When someone doesn't want to change, sometimes what it requires, the shrink, lie down on the couch, and let's go back and dig into your childhood. And when did this happen? And you have perhaps some repressed memories, and let's hypnotize you, and maybe I'll smack you around a little bit. All these things just to get him to do one simple thing, to leave something simple. Now, of course, I'm not belittling the fact that there are issues where people might need therapy and everything, but there are other issues that are simple. And there seems to be therapy for everything now, Even simple things people can't change. People can't even change their eating habits. That you have to go get surgery done to staple your stomach, or there's some device that now you put it in your mouth and it limits how much you can eat. I mean, how bad is it when I have to cover my mouth because I can't control myself? It's that bad. It can't be that bad. But when you want to change, change isn't that difficult. When you don't want to change, you have excuses for it. It's who I am. It's my nature. It was a business meeting. It was this, it was that. So, one way is that we get... how much time do we have, by the way?
We have about...
Now? 4 minutes?
No, half hour.
Half hour is too long, I think.
It's up to you to finish whenever you like. You
I think
have a
people
question,
have been
answer
waiting
it.
for so long. We'll just wrap up now.
No, that's okay.
Question answer session.
Inshallah. You know, too much talk and then we'll forget where we started from and we'll forget most of the thing. Anyways, so you know, now you're all probably students, you all study here together, and you all probably, you know, everyone in the room at least knows one other person. So we can all give each other advice, right? And when your brother comes or your sister comes to give you advice, you accept it. Because sometimes people can see things in you that you can't see for yourself. And that's why the Prophet ﷺ described the believer as being what? The mirror. Al-mu'min mir'atu akhi. That the believer is the mirror to his brother. And obviously the sister, the mirror to her sister as well. Now, and I don't have too much time for that, but it's another exercise in and of itself that's so amazing. Why did the Prophet ﷺ liken the believer to a mirror? Why to a mirror? Why didn't he just say the believer gives nasiha to his other believer, to his brother or to their sister? Why did he say like a mirror? Because I'm going to give you one, maybe you can give me 5 or 10 others. So when you look in the mirror, let's say you're going out and there's some important event and you've got your outfit set. Everything is black on black. So you got a black tie, black suit, black shirt, black shoes, and you're black too, that's a bonus. And this is going to be really, really awesome and it's incredibly cool. You stand in front of the mirror to check everything out, then you find a big feather, let's say a big white feather stuck in your hair. The mirror showed that to you in your reflection. Usually I would like to go with a big booger. I like disgusting things. So let's stick with the booger. So you see, because I don't want you to forget the example. You're in the mirror, you're looking at yourself, you're so cool, you give yourself the wink and the gun, and then you discover that there's something huge there. It's so big that it can speak. It says, hello. So now, do you get angry at the mirror because it showed you this flaw? Do you say, why did you show that to me? I was in a good mood, I was on cloud 9. Leave me to walk out like this. You appreciate the mirror showing you a flaw. Usually you wouldn't expect that you would appreciate someone or something showing you a flaw. But you should. What if your brother came to you and said, by the way, there's a huge nozola in your nose. Please remove it. You would say, Jazakallah khair. That's why when I was going like this to those people, they were looking at me funny. Thank you for being the only one who cared. So when the mirror shows you something, one, you appreciate what the mirror shows you, even if it's a flaw. True? Second thing, the mirror showed it to you immediately. It didn't say, well, he's feeling good now. Let him walk out like this. When he comes at night, I'll show him that he has something wrong with him. It's like, no, I had a friend. I used to make this mistake for a year. I didn't know it was wrong. It was a fiqh issue. 1 year later, he tells me, oh, by the way, you do this and it's wrong. I said, yeah, akhi. For a year, you've been seeing me do this mistake. You never told me? What are you waiting for? After we have a good plate of biryani, then we have some shai, and then we relax, then you break out the bad news? The mirror breaks out the bad news immediately, and you appreciate it, because I don't want to walk around with that. Right. So, it tells you immediately, you appreciate what it shows you, even if it's a flaw. Same way, your brother or your sister, they see a flaw, they tell you immediately. They don't let you walk around making a fool out of yourself. And even if they tell you something wrong with you, you appreciate it because you want to correct it and fix yourself. Someone told me there's a list of like 30 things. What else? How else are you like a mirror when you give advice to your brother?
You give it as it is. No.
Jazakallah khair. Very good. The mirror shows you exactly who